Hey guys, I just want to show you real quick just a few tips on how to bid on vehicles for new dealers on Manheim. I'm just going to briefly touch on fake bids so that you don't get screwed by them, basically. So like, look at this van. MR is 33, okay? So he starts at 35. They want 35 for it, but they'll never get it. They drop down $5 grand. That's a fake bid right there at 30. So that's the vending machine bidding in lane there. Just keep waiting, they're gonna drop it even more. So it'll go down to like 28. Now somebody might throw in a bid, which they did. So basically you wanna wait two instances on how they the starting price, right, for the vehicle. When the auctioneer says, hey, you know, like, let's drop the price $5 grand below MMR, that's usually when you want to start bidding. You don't want to start bidding as soon as the car hits the block, because you'll end up overpaying. But the funny thing is that he just dropped it to 28. It's already up to 31.5. So a lot of guys use this method. They just end up waiting for, I don't know, for the lowest price, I guess, and then they end up going over MMR anyway. So it's just seeing that car sold on an if. So an if sale means that the seller has the right to decide if they even want to sell you the car at that price or not. So see, they just dropped it from 30 to 35. Those are both fake bids at 30,000, 30,500. That's nobody bidding. There's nobody in lane. I mean, there are people in lane right now, but nobody's bidding on this car. So let's see what they do. They're going to drop it or no sale it right here. He says they want to do an if on 31 grand. So again, this one went on an if sale, which means that the seller will basically counter at some ridiculous amount, like $33,000 for that. I think it was a BMW. The other thing is, guys, pay attention to the CR reports, because CR reports are, it all depends on how the CR writer feels that day. So like, if the CR writer's in a good mood and it's like decent weather outside, he might actually write a decent CR. But a lot of the guys, they don't care. They just want to collect their paycheck and go home. And CRs are complete bullshit, in my opinion. I've bought cars with CR reports of like 4.2, 4.3, and there should be like a CR 1, 1.2, 1.4. But then on the flip side, I've also bought CR reports which are very detailed and in-depth, which is great. Thank God they do that. Like CR reports like 2.2 scores, 2.3 scores, and they end up being like actually nice cars. The CR should have been a lot higher. So kind of take a CR report with like a grain of salt. It's not the end all be all. In terms of MMR, it's all over the place right now. Nobody knows what the hell's going on. Everybody's buying cars for retail money. It's MMR right now is inflated, right? So like this Jeep right here, 44.7, that's an inflated MMR just because right now there's a shortage of used cars, right? So it should be like 39. It's like a 39 car right here, but 44.7, it'll probably sell for, yeah, see, somebody's given, yeah, off lease only, yeah, so they just gave $40,000 for it, which is pretty much on the money. They're a little bit high, and even that went on an if, right? So Toyotas, like these Tundras and stuff like that, they're always going to bring like pretty good money because they're reliable. Tacomas bring insane money. 4Runners are selling for over retail. What else could I touch on real quick? Check the auto check report if you can. If you have Carfax membership, check that as well. Anything that's sold red light, like if you see a little red light right here, that basically means the car is being sold as is, and if you get it and like it falls apart, it's not their problem. or the transmission goes out, or the car doesn't start. Again, if you bought it red light as is, it's your problem, your issue. There is no arbitration. Yellow light means caution, which is like if there's some sort of issue with the vehicle, they're going to yellow light it just to protect their ass, so that if you get the car and there's some sort of problem with it, it'll say in the CR report or whichever that there's some sort of problem with it, so that you can't arbitrate for that issue. And then green lights, you can arbitrate for them, no problem, but only for like cosmetic issues. So if you don't do a PSI after the sale on a green light vehicle, you can't arbitrate for like mechanical shit. So you can't arbitrate for like worn control arms or worn shocks or transmission shifting weird. You can only arbitrate if you don't do a PSI according to the rules for cosmetic stuff like structural damage or rust or stuff that's not like disclosed. If it's disclosed in the CR report, it doesn't matter if you arbitrate it, you're not going to win. These Tacomas bring crazy money. But what else I was going to say? Oh, the other thing is cars with no title, so T/O title or T/A title absent. I've waited sometimes for like 2 months for a title. After 30 days, even if it's a red light, by the way, and you don't have the title for the vehicle, you can arbitrate it and return the vehicle, and they'll even cover your shipping costs. So let's say like I bought a car from Texas and shipped it to Florida. If I didn't get the title within 30 days, on day 31, I can arbitrate it for no title, and they would actually take the vehicle back and refund you the shipping costs as well. But sometimes, like I bought a rare car and I really was like, looking for over a year for a particular unit. Those cars, like I was waiting for 2 months for one because they're hard to find. So literally this car is sitting on the lot and it's unable to be retailed.